and welcome back to ABC Club. My name is Anna, and today we are going to be talking about something very exciting. We are going to be studying all things Disney. Great. So, how many of you out there have heard of Disney? All right, many of you. And I'm sure you've heard of Disney World or Disneyland, Disney Channel or Disney movies, but who is the man behind all of that? Who was the creator of all of that? And how did he do it? Well, his name was Walt Disney. And if you go to any Disney World or Disneyland park, you will see there's a big statue of Walt Disney there. So today we're going to talk about Disney and animation, the cartoons, how he made moving cartoons into a movie. Now, how many of you have seen a Disney movie? All right, a lot of you have. And what is your favorite Disney movie? All right, so yeah, there's so many different movies out there. I love The Little Mermaid. I love Snow White, Sleeping Beauty, so many different ones. And every year, Disney makes new movies. So there's constantly more movies for us to enjoy, and we can also go to visit the parks. So let's jump right in and let's talk about Walt Disney and who he is. All right, so he is famous for animation, and we are going to learn how he did that, and we're going to learn what that is, animation. That's one of our vocab words today. So let's look. I'm going to share my screen and we can see this. All right, so this is Walt Disney right here. If you didn't know what he looked like, this is what he looks like, and let's scroll down. Walt Disney, animation with sound, basically a cartoon movie. All right, Walt Disney was the creator of Mickey Mouse. This means he made him up. So Mickey Mouse right behind me on the Ferris wheel. We all know Mickey from the movies and from Disney Channel and the iconic mouse mouse ears and mouse photo that is everywhere. So Walt Disney was the creator of Mickey Mouse. He made up Donald Duck and Minnie Mouse too. His story shows us the power of imagination. Imagination is one of our vocab words as well today. Imagination is something we think and what we dream and what we think can come true, or something really interesting or creative or exciting. So that is called imagination. So Walt Disney made up Donald Duck and Minnie Mouse and Mickey Mouse using his imagination. Walt Disney was born on December 5th, 1901. His family went to live on a farm. He was 4 years old. Wow, only 4 years old. All right, so they lived on a farm. That's little Walt Disney there with his sister. And let's see what happens next. All right, Walt liked living on the farm. He liked looking at the trains going by. He liked drawing too. All right, so Walt Disney liked to watch the trains go by. He liked drawing, but he lived on a farm, so his life was pretty simple. And there he is right here. His family moved to the city. Walt went to art class. How many of you out there do art class? All right, many of you like art class. Let's go on. He got a job on a train too. His job was to sell snacks. He loved to work on the train. There's Walt on the train, working on the train. Okay, there's Walt again, a little bit older. Walt He went to live in Hollywood. He worked as an animator. Hollywood, who's heard of Hollywood? Yeah, so Hollywood is a place in Los Angeles. It's like a neighborhood in Los Angeles where people are creating movies and all types of creative things. And when he lived in Hollywood, he worked as an animator. An animator is another one of our vocab words. Animator is someone who draws and then creates these cartoons to kind of move, which is called animation. This is when someone draws a lot of pictures and puts them together so they seem to move. So we don't have time today, but one fun craft you can do at home is you can take a stack of Post-it notes, and on each page you can make a different cartoon, and when you flip it, you can see all of them move super fast. So that is the early stages of animation, which happened with Walt. That's what Walt worked on. He made a short cartoon film in 1928. It was the first one to have music and voices that went along with the pictures. So he made a short cartoon film, 1928. Wow, over almost 100 years ago. All right. So that is okay. And the first cartoon that he made was called Steamboat Willie. That's another one of our vocab words. Steamboat Willie is the name of a captain that works on a ship, and the star was Mickey Mouse. So Mickey Mouse was the star. He was Steamboat Willie, and Minnie Mouse was in it too. Walt did all of the voices in it. So if you watch the original Steamboat Willie, Walt did all of the voices of all the characters. There he is with his Mickey Mouse and an award. All right, so this is not Walt, this is actually his brother. He had a brother named Roy. They started a film company. Very interesting. His brother, him and Roy started a film company. It made the film Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs in 1937. So Snow White is one of the original Disney movies, original animated films. How many of you out there have seen Snow White? Great. Yes, Snow White right now has cartoon version, and then they have another version with real actors or real life people. It was the first long cartoon film ever made. Wow, the first one ever made. So that means that all of the other cartoon films after that followed in Walt's footsteps. So Snow White is about 2 hours, I think, the movie. So that is a pretty long cartoon. All right, there's Walt. And then they opened Disneyland. So he was so successful, they decided to open their own theme park called Disneyland. Disneyland opened in 1955. Walt wanted it to be a place for children and adults. He wanted them to have fun. A bigger park was opened in 1971. It is called Walt Disney World. There's Walt Disney World. How amazing. How many of you out there have been to Walt Disney World or Walt Disneyland? Great. So that was on October 1st, 2016. So that was a little bit more recent. Walt Disney died in 1966. He was 65 years old. So unfortunately, Walt Disney died when he was a little bit young at 65. But Walt Disney's legacy, and through his family, who also still own part of Disney, they have kept his dream alive. So that is Walt Disney, and that's Walt Disney World. Okay, so that is our story today about Walt Disney. And now that we have read our story, let's see and look at some things. Okay, so Disney is famous for animation. I want to ask you, do you prefer movies with cartoons or do you prefer movies with real people, like real actors? Okay, interesting. So Disney makes both. Of course, they started with animation and cartoons, and then they ended up going to real life actors in their Disney movies. And that's, of course, something you see on the Disney Channel too. All right. Now we are going to watch a short video. It's about 4 minutes long on the life of Walt Disney. So get your popcorn ready. We're going to watch a little bit more about Walt Disney's life. Let's see.
The imprint of his personality on the studio and on what comes out of anything Disney is the attention to detail, and it's just perfection.
Walter Elias Disney was born in Chicago, Illinois on December 5th, 1901. He developed a love of drawing, and by 18, he became a draftsman at a Kansas City art studio.
His very first job in the art world was at a small company where he met Ub Iwerks, who turned out to be a fantastic animator later in his life. But the two became friends, and shortly after they decided to form a company together.
Working with Iwerks and his brother Roy, Disney opened a Hollywood studio in 1923. 5 years later, the studio made Steamboat Willie, starring an animated mouse who would become the cornerstone of their company.
Mickey Mouse had a real personality, and that personality was kept consistent from film to film to film. The other reason Mickey was a huge success was that Walt decided to use Mickey as a means for introducing sound to cartoons.
In 1934, Disney began work on Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, which became the highest grossing film of the year and named AFI's greatest American animated film of all time.
Snow White had, besides being a beautiful piece of art with some wonderful original music and a very sweet love story, was just so well done, so well plotted. And it was just a work of art. It was a treasure.
In the 1940s, Disney opened a new studio in Burbank and released a succession of animated classics, including Pinocchio, Fantasia, Dumbo, and Bambi. By 1950, Disney released its first live-action film and TV special.
Every film he did added something new. Pinocchio had a great story, tremendous artistic detail. Fantasia gave him the opportunity to experiment with color and with sound. Bambi brought whole new skills to his artists because the animals for Bambi were much more realistic. Everything added to the skills of the Disney studio.
Disney's dream of a children's amusement park came to life on July 17, 1955, with the televised opening of Disneyland, the most well-known theme park in the world.
The whole park fascination started back when he was in Kansas City. A certain amusement park there, he and his little sister would stand outside with not the money to go in. And later, Rudolph Ising, one of his original animators from Kansas City, is quoted as saying, Walt and I went to the park one day, and Walt said, I'm going to have a park like this someday, but mine's going to be clean.
During the 50s and 60s, Disney dominated television with several weekly shows, while still producing feature films. In 1965, his musical Mary Poppins scored 13 nominations and 5 Academy Awards.
Many of film critics have called Mary Poppins Walt's masterpiece. He brought together all he had learned for a great many years in the film industry in one beautiful film, including, much to the surprise of many people who had started working on a live-action film, animation.
On December 16, 1966, Walt Disney died of acute circulatory collapse brought on by lung cancer. Today, the multi-billion-dollar Disney empire includes multiple TV networks, motion picture studios, vacation resorts, theme parks, and record labels.
Though Walt Disney passed on, it's remarkable to see how many children and adults continue to enjoy and love his works.
All right, that was our movie about Walt Disney. Let's give a hand. So as we can see there were so many interesting points in this video. We saw Diane, I believe her name was, who is Walt Disney's daughter. I think she still helps oversee what happens in Disney. Disney today is even more than cartoons and animation. There are theme parks, there are Disney rides, Disney songs, music, Disney Channel TV shows, and of course we have the live action movies. Now, as we saw with Mary Poppins, that was one of the first movies that combined live action, so real people, and cartoons. How many of you out there have seen the original Mary Poppins? It's very good, you have to see it. So it had music, it had live action, so real actors, but it also had cartoons in it. All right, so let's continue with our lesson today. Now, I want to know if any of you know, after the story we read, who helped Walt Disney build his film company? Yes, it was Roy. It was his brother, Roy, and together they created the film company for Disney to create films. Now, we also talked about Mickey Mouse. How many of you out there have seen a movie with Mickey Mouse? I know I have. Mickey Mouse is everywhere, and he's actually right behind me. There he is. We have Mickey Mouse, his girlfriend Minnie Mouse, and his friends Donald Duck and Goofy. We've seen them everywhere, right? And if you're lucky enough, if you go to one of the theme parks, you might meet them in person. Okay, so if you don't have time to go to a Disney park, today we are actually going to make our own Mickey Mouse crafts. Now, I know a lot of you recognize this iconic mouse shape. We see it everywhere, right? So today we're going to make that. Now, for this craft, you are going to need construction paper. So you need one piece of red construction paper. You need one piece of yellow construction paper. And then you need one piece of black construction paper. All right, so you need these three colors. Can you see them? These three colors, and you need scissors and glue or tape. So I will give you 1 second to go get those things, okay? Okay, so I just had to grab my tape because I just noticed my glue was dry. It ran out. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the black construction paper first, and you might need 2 pieces of black construction paper. It really depends how big you want to make your circle. But we're first going to make a black circle just like this. Just like this, one black circle, okay? And throughout the whole craft, if you want to pause the screen, pause the video so you can continue to stay in time with my instructions, you can totally pause me and we can do it together. So here we are, a black circle. And then what I would like you to do is take, still with that same paper, or if you need another sheet, that's okay. I want you to make 2 smaller circles. So not the same size, 2 black circles, a little bit smaller than that. Okay. 2 black circles. Okay, so right now I have these 2 black circles. I have 2, and then I have a third one, which is a large one. Okay. Now that we have that, what we need to do next is we need to take out our yellow paper, okay, our yellow construction paper, and I want you to make 2 circles as well, but I want them to be a little bit smaller than the small black one. So this is my shape here, and I'm gonna make this one a little bit smaller than that. Okay, I'm having a hard time holding these up today. All right, so a little bit smaller than that. So we are making a craft that is one of Walt Disney's most famous animations, Mickey Mouse. Okay, so this one, I'll make it a little bit more even. Okay, so I have these 2. Great. All right, and now the last step, which is the hardest part in my opinion, take the black circle and just put the red over it and over the 1/2 of it. So here's my black circle, and I want you to take it and just put it where the halfway mark of the circle is, so a half circle. And I want you to take a pencil and I want you to draw a line here so you know what I'm talking about as a guide, okay? And then I want you to take your paper and trace, hold on, let me make this easier. And I want you to trace the rest of the circle. So this is how much you are going to cut out, okay? So you can't see it on my screen, only a little bit there, but we're only cutting out a half circle. So the half circle should match the black circle directly. So at the end of the day, when we're all finished with this, you will have a black circle and a half red circle. Easy enough. So it should be like this, and it should easily fit over the black circle like that. I mean, I need to go this way, I think. Yeah. Yeah, let's go this way. So it should fit over like that. Okay, so now that we have this part, let's keep it here like this and let's tape this down, all right, boys and girls? So let's tape this down. Okay. So I taped it down like that. All right, now, next, I want you to really focus on this part because it's really important. So this, it's very funny. So we are going to take the 2 big black or little black circles. Well, I guess they're medium circles because our yellow ones are smaller, huh? We're gonna take those and put them in the corner like ears. All right, and now I think that you should put them right on the top. Don't put them behind like this. I want to see them right here. So let's tape that. Get my tape out. So we're taping our medium circles. Just like this. Just like that. Oop. I might tape some in the back too because they're falling down. I know tape is kind of ugly. I think it's better if you use glue, but like I said, I ran out of glue. So here we go. It looks like that. 2 medium-sized black circles, 1 large one, and a half red. And then for the final touch, this part we need to pay attention because it's kind of funny. But I want you to put them These are they're supposedly supposed to be like buttons, right, on Mickey Mouse. So, or like his shoes, sorry, not buttons. What am I saying? They're supposed to be his shoes, right? Mickey Mouse wears yellow shoes. So we want to put them like this. And they can kind of go down here and stick them together like that. All right, so those are our Mickey Mouse shoes. Let me just take a moment and tape these on. Okay. There we go. So it looks like this. So that's our Mickey Mouse thing. Now, if you want to take white construction paper and do 2 eyes and kind of draw the eyes in on the white construction paper, you can totally do that. But this is all we have time for today. So let's recap, boys and girls. We did a really fun craft today, creating Mickey Mouse, which was the first animated character. And Mickey Mouse was in Steamboat Willie. Okay, Steamboat Willie was one of our vocab words. Another place we learned about was Disneyland and Disney World, and some of you have fortunately had the opportunity to go there, which is great. Another place we learned about was Hollywood, which is in Los Angeles, and that is a neighborhood where people, creators, actors, artists, singers, they all live in Hollywood, filmmakers as well. And then we learned about animation and animators. So Walt Disney was an animator indeed. He studied animation and he worked in animation, drawing cartoons and having them move, right? So they were moving pictures. Now, we also learned about cartoons. Cartoons relate to animation because animation is basically just cartoons that are moving. And Walt Disney not only created the first moving one, but he was famous for it because he created it with sound, with music, and with the characters speaking. The other thing we learned about, which I think is the most important in my opinion, is imagination. All of you out there have an imagination and we can use it, right? We can create art, we can go places, we can travel, we can bring in really cool ideas and share with our friends and with our teachers, with our imagination. When you're at home outside playing with your friends, you sometimes imagine yourselves somewhere else and play a fun game. So imagination is so important. And imagination is the reason why Walt Disney was so successful. And that's the reason why Walt Disney World and Walt Disneyland and Disney movies are the way they are today. So let me see your Mickey Mouse. Let me see you hold it up. Awesome. And thank you so much, boys and girls, for another great class here at ABC Club. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.